Okay, quick plug again for Gamers Dreamland. And I got to take this second to talk about how this whole thing keeps going, right? Obviously, you can support the show on Patreon. And a huge thanks to everyone who is supporting over there. Seriously, this is the only reason why this can continue to exist. I can keep making this. But another super easy way to support the show is through our title sponsor, Gamers Dreamland. Gold seller, TCG player, fast, trustworthy, good selection, great selection of Magic singles. And the cool part is, when you shop using the link in the show notes or just heading to gamersdreamland.com, you automatically get 10% off. And that directly supports the show. So it's this perfect little cycle. You get the cards you need, Gamers Dreamland sees your support, and they keep sponsoring the podcast. It's how everybody wins. So if you've been meaning to grab a few cards anyway, or just want to keep the story going, right? Hit that link in the notes. Check them out. Gamers Dreamland, your online LGS. Chapter 13. Rebecca's heart was in her throat as she strode down the infirmary hall. Upon landing, she planned to go to bed and sleep for a week, but the healers said her husband was awake. He'd emerged from his coma just after Rebecca and Yawgmoth had embarked on their trip. In their conspicuous absence, Glacian had been busy. Very busy. She entered Yawgmoth's laboratory. Glacian was nowhere to be seen. His wheeled chair, bed, desk, sketches, all were gone. Crossing the hall, she looked into 2 more chambers before she found him. Glacian looked thin and only vaguely human. His face was at once blissful and intent. He sat in a much modified wheelchair. Mechanisms of artifice surrounded him. A body sling compressed his chest, helping him exhale. A bellows drove air through a tube that pierced his throat. Another tube induced a continual flow of serum into his blood. A metal halo lifted his chin away from his neck. The small power stones that ran all these devices winked in an array to one side, votive candles for a martyred god. A crew of goblins circulated about the man, checking the various devices that sustained his life. Servitor automatons worked quietly among them. The goblins glanced up disinterestedly as Rebecca entered. Glacian's eyes were piercing. "Ah, Rebecca," he said quietly. His voice rasped away as he waited for the bellows to inflate his lungs again. "You're back from your little fling." Rebecca blushed, coming to kneel before her husband's chair. She drew the edge of her cloak over her mouth. "I'm sorry, love. I tended you for 2 months in coma. It was killing me as surely as it was killing you." "It wasn't killing me, as you can see. I knew you were with me when you were. I also knew when you would be gone, and where, and with whom." "It was a mission for the Council," Rebecca said. "Yawgmoth was establishing—" "I know what he was establishing," interrupted Glacian. "His own private army throughout the Empire. He's positioning himself to seize control." "Seize control? Of what? Of the Empire? One healer? Of the Empire? Of the world? Of everything? Of you?" Rebecca's face hardened. "Yawgmoth hasn't made the slightest attempt to seize control of me. Don't you think it's strange? I awakened just after he left. Once he wasn't around to dilute the serum or put soporifics in it. When it was just his toadies left caring for me, I awakened." "You're paranoid. And I have toadies of my own. Apprentices. Here in Halcyon, but also in the other capitals. Some are even elders now. And these goblins here. And in the rig, I'm still their master. And as long as I have this," he lifted his hand, fingertips smudged with the stylus he clutched, "I have my own army. First, these machines. My toadies built them. They are doing more for me than any serum. They breathe for me. Hold me up. I'm designing one to pump my heart. But they can't stop the lesions. They can't keep your body from breaking apart, your mind from breaking in two. Doesn't matter. I wake to find new plans I've designed. I'm shaking them out of my sleeve. Look at this. A mantis warrior. It's based on my old design, but with improved armaments. Razor mandibles, scythe claws, flex steel abdomen, and stinger, and these incendiary antennae. The council's already ordered 50. I've sent an apprentice to the capital guilds. The other city-states will be building them soon. I'll have my own army. The artificer unions know Yawgmoth is a charlatan. They'll build my warriors. They're based on a new Power Stone configuration. Power Stone configurations? Insect warriors? Look at you, Rebecca said, shaking her head in astonishment. You're turning yourself into a Power Stone configuration. An insect warrior. What else am I supposed to be? Glacian shouted. Nothing at all? Am I supposed to just placidly fall to pieces? I'm still the genius of Halcyon. I'm still your husband. You can't just fling me on the refuse heap like you do all the others with this disease. Fling on a refuse heap? I'm going to fight him, Rebecca. I'm going to fight him for you. I'm going to fight Yawgmoth, and I'm going to fight death, and they are one and the same. Oh, Glacian, you're not yourself. You're not seeing things as they are. I am! I've never been so sure of a thing. He reached out to stroke her hair, but she drew away from his scabrous touch. Angered, he said, I'm the only one who sees! I'm the only one who has ever seen! She stood and turned toward the door. Yes, my love, you are the only one. He's diluting it, Gix insisted, looking around the candlelit table in the deep chamber of the caves. In the month since Yawgmoth's return, Gix had considerably deteriorated. Beneath the white scarf that wrapped his head and mouth, lesions split his skin open. He felt his face might simply slough off. His hands were no better. As his skin deteriorated, his will grew stronger. He spent 12 hours a day caring for patients in the quarantine and 3 more lobbying the untouchables in the upper caves. They allowed him in their midst only wrapped like this, with promises he would touch no one. Even so, they were beginning to listen. Yawgmoth is diluting the serum. It no longer halts the disease. The healthier ones grow worse. The rest die. Eyes around the candle flame were sullen and withdrawn. He's exterminating us, don't you see? A pillow-faced woman spoke for the others. He is liberating us, not exterminating us. It's been months since he's allowed any more folk out of the caves. Still every day another 10 or 15 exiles reach the quarantine. It's been 1,023 patients since the last untouchable was allowed to ascend. Untouchable is no longer an acceptable word, the woman corrected primarily, pulling her ragged clothes up around her. Yawgmoth himself has outlawed it. None of us are untouchable anymore. All of us are, don't you see? He's taken from the caves everyone he can use. Everyone he can command and hold in thrall. The rest of you, he'll leave to rot with us. A nervous chill circulated among the folk huddled around the table. The woman spoke again. It is dangerous to talk like this. It is dangerous not to, Gix insisted. He will kill all of us. At last, another voice spoke up, this belonging to a young man in a shrouded hood. What do you want us to do? Rebel. I want us to rebel. What about the guards? The young man asked. I know 1,000 ways around the guards. I could lead you up into the city. You could lead us up? The woman echoed, suddenly interested. You could smuggle us into Halcyon? Yes, and once there, we'll raid the infirmary, take Yawgmoth and Glacian hostage. We'll demand serum. We'll demand the release of every healthy person in the caves. You could lead us up into the city? The woman said. Could you find us shelter? Could you find us a place to hide until we can get jobs, get a place to live? No, Gix interrupted. I'm talking about a revolution. The young man said, and we're talking about living. We're talking about escaping from the caves. If Yawgmoth won't lead us to freedom, why won't you? We don't want to kill and die. We want to live. Better to live in atrocity than to die in glory. Won't you save us? Heaving a sigh within his bandages, Gix said, Yes. Yes, I will. "They've been pouring out of the gutters like rats," declared eldest Jameth of Halcyon, a stately woman in red silk. She wore her office like a diadem. From her raised podium she addressed the council. "How do we know which are legitimate? It used to be albinism was sufficient cause for arrest. Now we have excuse me, what is the preferred term? Now we have the damned in our midst. Your liberation program is running aground, Yawgmoth." "As you know, madam," replied Yawgmoth, "the liberation program has been suspended for 4 months. Those who were elevated carry papers, have homes, and work to better the city. The others can be rounded up. Provide me the personnel and funding, and I will." A discontented growl moved through the gathering. "These incursions are the result of diluted serum," Yawgmoth continued. "My budget does not allow full-strength serum for every patient in the caves. The precious metal components are expensive. If refugees can climb to the city, so can rioters. They will climb, unless I get the funding for full-strength serum." The growl became an uneasy moan. "Even then, the riots may come. We all remember what happened last time, and it'll be much worse. The plague will run the streets. Last time I turned them back with an ill-equipped band of 30 healers. This time I'll need the newly trained Halcyon Guard in combat. I make a motion that in event of a riot, I be given command of the Guard." "Let me understand this," the eldest of Halcyon said. "You want more personnel and more money to avert another riot, and control of the Halcyon Guard should there be another riot?" "Or, if you like, I can relocate my efforts to Losannon, where the plague also worsens every day. These are the conditions under which I will fight this plague for you. If you're unwilling to provide me these few provisions, you'd better find someone else." Eldest Jameth's countenance had paled so much she seemed one of the damned. "It is right this vote be taken among Halcyon's elders only, lest our friend from the other city-states vote down the measure in order to lure Yawgmoth away. As a leader of the Halcyon elders, I claim the right to cast the city's vote. I approve these allocations of personnel and money. Any Halcyon who opposes, speak." The council hall was utterly silent. "26 times in the last months, Gix had led healthy refugees up from the cave. Over 120 folk had escaped because of him. The route was proven, a natural star-shaped chimney that never intersected the mana rig. It first emerged in an unused dry well on the edge of the Halcyon sewer system. From there, Gix conducted each party past flushing dunguses to various storm grates. At the darkest corner of night, he led them to whatever stable or shed would give them a night's rest. This time was different. It was Gix's 27th trip, thrice the evil number 9. His gut told him death waited above. Gix peered through a grate in a shadowed alley. Wooden pickets leaned like crooked teeth toward the lane. The way was narrow enough not to admit vehicles. It was dark enough to forbid casual traffic. A rainwater cistern along one edge of the road provided ample water for drinking and bathing. A granary nearby had plenty of abandoned mills and machine sheds where refugees could hide. This had been his fallback site, the best location in the worst situation. "I don't think you should go," Gix whispered to the 5 souls huddled in darkness behind him. "Something's not right." "What is it?" asked one of them. "Is someone there?" "Something's not right. I don't know what it is." "Then take us to another place." "No. This is the best place. It's not the place. It's the night. Something's different. It's too still." There came an incredulous silence. "So, you want us to sit here until tomorrow?" "Or come back down with me." "Down? We didn't climb for 5 hours up a volcanic vent just to go back." Gix shook his head. "I just have the sense that if you go through that grate, any grate tonight, you'll die." "I'd rather die trying to escape than go back down." The young speaker pushed past Gix, clambered up the rubble-strewn edge of the culvert, and shoved open the grate. He clambered out from beneath it. Hissing in fierce laughter, he said, "Come on, the rest of you, come out! Breathe the air of freedom!" Another followed, then the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Gix held open the grate. They were a mob of black shadows cast against the leaning pickets. They crouched beneath the night sky as though they still lurked in sewers, but there was a manic joy in their hunched shoulders. Their feet were quick on the cobbles. Gix stared out at them. "Good luck to you." He lowered the grate over the culvert. All 5, suddenly, were dead. It was as quick as that. There were 5 quick flashes of dagger light and the unmistakable smell of blood spraying. The manic shadows fell in wet mounds on alley stones. Behind those daggers came men and women. They were not Hellside guards, but a different brand of warrior. Sleek, silent, lethal. There was nothing of pomp and bluster in the work they did, only efficiency. "This one isn't him," one of the killers reported, dropping the head of the dead woman. "This one either," another said. "None of these have thysis," came a voice of a third. "You sure their leader does?" "Yes," responded a shadowy figure in their midst. Yawgmoth. "Just as sure as I am that he's lurking still in the sewer." "Should we go down after him?" "No. You'll not catch him. Besides, he's useful to me. Predictable. He'll lead more refugees up here. We'll capture each batch. The council will grant us more soldiers, more funding," Yawgmoth said grimly. "No. He's useful to me alive. These 5 are useful dead, the first fruits of the new campaign. The council will be pleased." Gix heard it all. Fetched up breathless beneath the grate, he feared to move, lest the patter of water betray him. He remained as the assassins hauled away the dead. Only after they were gone did he realize that the trickle that fell on his back was not rain, but blood.